Hi, I'm Photofonz, and I'd like to talk about the Nikon D7000. Not so much as a technical tutorial, but how it relates to the professional photographer and the serious hobbyist, and also why I like this camera so much. Quite possibly, it may be the best camera Nikon's ever made to date, especially when you consider the price tag of only about $1,200. First off, the image quality on its 60 megapixel sensor is just spectacular. And it's really more than adequate for what my needs and maybe many other professional photographers that are doing portraits and weddings are. And however, if I was doing things like high-end fashion photography, commercial, advertising, and then I may be going into the medium format route, such as the Hasselblad system, which I used to use in the film days. But right now, doing what I'm doing, this is really more than adequate. And here are some of my favorite features on why I like this camera so much. First of all, it's just a really well-made, solid, compact body, and it just feels great. And it's got a magnesium alloy body, and it's really super fast. It'll shoot at 6 frames per second, but more importantly, it focuses quickly, accurately, and it locks it in place, and it fires all very, very quickly. And that's pretty important if you're doing certain types of photography, like maybe sports, sometimes children, or even in wedding photography when we have to get the shot just like that. I think that's pretty important. And it also has 39 autofocus points in here. Now, although my Nikon D300 has 51, I think 39 autofocus points is really more than adequate, so I can easily live with that. It's also fast during playback when you're zooming in and playing back your images, super fast. I also love its really sharp 3-inch LCD screen. It also has a great ability to shoot in low light situations. It has an ISO of 100 to 6400, and you can even take it beyond that if you like. And I really love its dual card slot. You could set it up so, for instance, slot 1 might shoot RAW, slot 2 will shoot in the JPEG format. Or you can also set slot, if you're shooting JPEG in slot 1, you could set slot 2 to do an overflow, so when slot 1 gets full, slot 2 takes over. And you can also set slot 2 up as a backup. It's going to capture everything that's on slot 1. So this way you have 2 memory cards with the images on, so you're a little bit safer that way. Now, all that being said, it gets even better when you use some of the great glass lenses that Nikon has. And I know a lot of photographers like using the prime lenses, such as a 50mm is very popular, 1.8, 1.4. A lot of people like using the 35mm, 1.8. And I like using the 85mm myself. One of my favorite lenses is Nikon's 70-200, 2.8 lens. It's a vibration reduction lens. It's a little bit large, but does a beautiful job, and I especially like shooting close to, if not wide open, which is 2.8 with it. And in my case, I use this mostly for portraits and quite a bit when I'm doing wedding photography. Now, although I did get this camera to be used primarily for still photography, it also offers great HD movies. And it's a little bit different than shooting a point-and-shoot type camera, so it doesn't quite focus that well when you're doing movies on autofocus. So you want to get used to doing manual focusing, which is what most pros do. So you just have to practice and just get the feel of focusing manually. And then if you're using those prime lenses, which is a fixed lens, such as a 50mm, you'll get some really great results, especially when you're shooting wide open with that. It just knocks the background way out of focus. It's a lot of the effect that you'll see in these professional movies. Another big issue on a digital SLR is the sound quality. If you're going to be using the built-in mic on a digital SLR, You're going to pick up some of these sound coming from the camera mechanics, and that's really not good. Plus the sound quality of the mic itself isn't really all that great. So there's a couple different ways that you could improve your sound quality. One way is to use an external sound recorder, like I'm using this Zoom. It's a H2. And you can use this actually several different ways. Right now I have it set on a monopod type of a stand. You can extend this further out, and when you're shooting on location, you can have maybe a sound person just walk along and just sort of hold the microphone close to the sound source. And then you can also set this up on a light stand. And the other way is to hook an external microphone onto your camera shoe. Like in this case here, I have an Asden shotgun microphone attached to my camera shoe. And of course, this is an external mic, so you just plug into your mic jack here on the camera. Then you can combine these two together with the footage. So there it is, the Nikon D7000. Awesome camera. Takes beautiful still images, great high definition movies, and again, all at a great price. So I really hope this helped you. And next, I'm going to be talking about camera brackets and how they can help improve your photography. Thank you again.